Hi, I just got back from the river walking my dog. Sorry. Again, no makeup. I'm just getting slack. Okay, so we're talking about defense this week, and I told you I was going to talk about attitude, which I may talk a little, but it occurred to me yesterday we talked some about what were some good leads and how you might choose a suit to lead. But one of the things we didn't talk about is, we have a series of leads against suits and a series of leads against no trump. And I told you that when you were choosing which suit to lead and which card within each suit, it always was determined by how the auction had gone, what the contract was, how many cards you had in the suit you were going to lead, whether a partner had bid it or not. So there's a whole ton of things like that kind of come into your choice of an opening lead. And we'll go through those as we go along, talking about defense. But one of the things is just the general philosophy. So when the opponents are in 3 no trump, for example, typically they have around 25 or 26 high card points between their two hands. So let's think about how you might defend against 3 no trump and actually set the opponents. Well, if they have 25, 26 high card points, then your partner and you have at most 15. Let's think, how does 15 high card points translate into tricks, defensive tricks? Well, let's say you had 3 aces. That's 12 points. And a king. That's 15. But there's no room for you to have any more cards than those 3 aces and that king between your and partner's hand if you're trying to set 3 no trump and high cards. So see, high cards alone aren't enough usually to set a contract of 3 no trump, not if the opponents know what they're doing. You simply don't have enough strength. So when you're defending against no trump, you're not trying necessarily to win immediate tricks. For instance, you would never cash your ace and king. You would get 2 tricks. You're always going to get 2 tricks. But then you created tricks for declarer with their queen and jack and whatever and whatever. So when you're leading against no trump, you typically lead your longest suit. Of course, it depends. If the opponents have bid your longest suit, you might change your mind. But typically, you're looking for some help from partner or length from partner that will make it possible for you to win tricks with like a 3 or a 4 or a 5. Small cards in some suit in which you have length. And for purposes of no trump, we consider length 4 or more. In a suit contract, a lot of times 3 aces and a king would be enough to set them. Or you might be able to trump, right? There's always the trump aspect in it. So in a suit contract, we're trying to win our tricks fairly early. We're trying to create tricks with our aces and kings. We're not thinking, oh, my small cards in this long suit might be winners. We know that the only way we're going to win is with those honor cards and by trumping. Right? So it kind of changes the whole reflection of the hand. Sorry, I couldn't tell it was taping for a second. So when you're defending against a no trump contract, you're going to be thinking of trying to create tricks for suits in which you have length. Okay, you're going to be trying to create tricks for the small cards in your long suits. That's what you're hoping for. Not just my ace and king, if I happen to have an ace and king, but make a trick with my 4 and my 5 too, or my 5. And in suit contracts, you're going to be thinking about trying to create immediate tricks. Why declarer still has cards left in those suits. Because after the first couple of rounds, he'll probably be able to trump. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean if you have an ace all by itself, take that ace. Don't take that ace. Okay? But it does mean that you're trying to build tricks quickly. So for an example, suppose you had the king, the queen, the 5, and the 4 of a suit. If you were in no trump, you would lead low. You would lead your 4th best card. Because we're hoping not king and our queen and our 5 will win. We're going to lead our 4. We're hoping that partner has a jack, or what if they have the ace? And now maybe we get a trick also with our king, our queen, and our little 5. But in a suit contract, if they have a trump suit, we'd lead the king. We're trying to create a trick for our queen. Okay? Okay, so attitude is one of the most important signals in bridge. And when you use an attitude signal is when your partner leads a suit or when you're discarding. So those are the 2 times you give an attitude signal. When partner is leading and when you're discarding, when you can't follow suit and you're playing a card in another suit. And in general, and this is standard attitude, if you play a high card in that suit, the suit that was played, you're saying, I think if you lead this suit again, I can help us create tricks or maybe even win a trick myself. And if you play a low card, it says, I don't think this suit's such a good idea. I don't have a card in this suit that I think will grow up to help us win tricks. So how does that translate into the real world? Well, suppose partner leads the King of Hearts against a suit contract. Or actually, well, we'll say against a suit contract. And I have the ace, the 8, and the 2. I would play the 8. I would play the highest card that I could afford to play without giving up a trick. Because if I took his king with my ace, that wouldn't be very smart. So I'd play the 8, and that would say, partner, I think if you continue to play hearts, we'll win tricks. Now, what if I have the jack, the 8, and the 2? Same thing. When partner led the king, I know they were promising the queen. So if he continues to play the suit, my jack is going to help us create winners. If declares won the ace the first time, now our queen and his queen and my jack will be winners. If declare didn't win the ace the first time, if partner leads the suit again, for instance, a low one, and I play the jack, that might force the ace, and now partner's queen will be a winner. So think of it as having a card equal in strength to the cards that partner showed when they led, when they're leading touching honors. Now, if they led a low card and dummy plays a low card, then you play third, we call third hand high, right? So if it goes low and low, it's typically third hand high. And the idea is partner's probably leading from something good. And if I play a high card, the highest one I can afford, maybe I'll help create tricks from partner. Now, there's exceptions to that. Of course there are. We wouldn't be playing bridge if there weren't exceptions to that. We'll talk about some of those tomorrow. But if partner has led an honor card, top of touching honors, then our signal will be about, can we help create tricks if partner continues the suit? And I've also got a special thing I can tell you about that when partner leads the ace. But we'll save that for tomorrow. I'll see you then.